Township meeting to order is June the 7th, 6 p.m., 2014. We'll start by a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you, Ray. Bonnie. Nothing. Deanna Court? Okay. Alrighty. Barb Long.
I was asked to ask you if you could provide evidence that this has been in litigation with the Lamborn Mobile Home Park in Burley.
Asked to provide evidence. There's a pending case.
Yes.
So we're not going to comment upon the pending action.
Okay.
Filed in,
like there's
it's
not.
filed in Bedford
Yeah, I
County.
got the complaint.
It's filed in Bedford County.
Okay, and I mean, like, is
Not
there
gonna
gonna
comment.
no court date or
Not going to
nothing?
comment on it.
Okay.
Case is pending.
Okay, that's fine. I was asked to ask that question.
Okay, Ray Neal.
Yes, the same old question. What about the survey by Vince or what?
Have not heard
I
at
have
all.
not heard anything from Vince.
I haven't seen him. I mean, I won't say he hasn't been there, but I don't see everything that comes and goes.
I called him, and he was supposed to be at last month's meeting. For some reason, he didn't come, but he told me he was working, which I told Ray he was working at it. I will give him a call again. I don't know. I don't think the man is healthy.
I would advise him, send him a letter. Because if he can't do it due to health, you would understand.
Because he's had surgery, and I think it's a slow boat coming back from that surgery.
I have not heard from him.
No.
I haven't seen him on any matter, whether it be your issue or anybody else. I mean, usually I run into Vince, periodically because of the nature of the work I do.
Right.
But I have seen nothing from him.
Okay.
So,
All right.
the last I knew, he had had the surgery, and he was coming back, and I guess his boy was working with him, something of that nature.
Yeah, he's had two helpers, and he lost one. Don't know what happened. One of them's not with him anymore. So,
Okay.
but I will give him a call, and then I'll send him a letter.
Yeah, that's what I would advise under the circumstances.
I mean, I put a barricade up because I had people. I think they were going to drive through the barrier. I had a lady hit a power rock, something like that. It was partially on the road, so
Oh my.
I put a sawhorse up with reflective signs on it, and hopefully that'll at least keep them from hitting something further up the road. That's all.
Believe me.
Well, even when it gets turned over me, it's still going to be the same thing, I'm sure, but
Yeah. Roger Strayer.
same problem. You're making any headway.
I was out, I talked to him, and he told me he bought an air gun of some sort, and the dogs bark. He shoots at them or around them. He said he was gonna use the shock collars more or whatever. That's all he stopped one day and told us that. We was going up into the developments to do some repair work on the road up there. And he stopped down at the end, he come over and was talking to me. And then Bob Ramsey come over, so then that ended that. But he said, I bought an air gun. He said that if I shoot, he said to pop. He said sometimes they shut up. He said, I'm trying. I said, well, you best stick with it and see what you can do. I didn't know what to tell him.
Well, he's mowing the yard after 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, he's doing this just to aggravate us, and I gotta get up and go to work. I get up at 3:45 in the mornings. And then he has a cow down there that's calling all the time.
At least one cow. I don't know how many he's got.
She's called Humane Society?
They won't do nothing.
I believe that.
Is he mowing the grass with the lights on?
Yeah. Part of the time. And then he has that handicap van out.
He
The
leaves
same
here at
night,
11
10
o'clock.
after 11, he's backing it around with the beeper on. It's,
It's one thing after another.
I
Yeah.
think so.
How often, Roger? I know that, I think Lester's been out. One time he did hear the dogs, another time he didn't hear the dogs.
Well, we just left the house to come over here.
I was
And
out.
the
Hers truck.
first truck was coming past. She said, did they bark them? I went it down the car. Dog beside the house started barking again.
Dog
She
on
said,
the
that
porch.
truck.
Every truck.
When were you last out, Steve?
I have it documented in my
Did you hear the dogs at
briefcase.
that point?
That time, yeah. They started barking. He hollered to shut up. They stopped barking.
Okay.
I went out to see him at the house.
Okay, you did.
Wanted to know if after we spoke.
Yeah.
The other time I documented, I was out in the dog's bark.
Okay.
So I stopped out of his house to talk to him. He was outside working on a tractor. I spoke to him, I said, you know, this is ongoing. It's getting old. I said, is there something else you can do? Are those dogs hungry? Do they have water? I said, dogs bark for, not just for the heck of it. I said, I've had dogs all my life. Do they have sufficient water and feed these hot days? Yes, he said they have food.
Yeah, but you know
They
what?
just bark.
When they come home, they even bark at their vehicles.
Yeah.
Our dogs don't bark.
No,
They just bark to bark.
but they barked that day. He hollered at them to shut up and they stopped barking. Then later on, we were out there about a week ago. He stopped along the road and he was on his way to work. He said, hey, I work. He said, I don't know what they're doing when I'm not there. But he said, when I'm there, I'm trying to stop them. He said, I bought an air gun. I told Bob about it. I said, well, you have to
Didn't
do
he tell
something.
Bob, didn't he tell Bob about 3 years ago he bought a collar in Harbor Freight?
Yeah, shock collar.
Why didn't he ever use it?
Maybe he has it on.
I
I don't know.
What I would advise is this, you check the property again during the course of this month between July and August,
Okay.
and see whether or not, take another one of the supervisors with you if necessary, or some unbiased witness, if you will, and listen to see if you can hear it. Document it if you can hear it, and if you can still hear it at the next meeting, I advise you, we're gonna have to move forward and
You ought to hear when
take
the
care of the dogs.
Bergmeyer truck pulls in to unload the dumpster out
Yeah.
That's three.
there. There ain't that many dogs in Beverly County, but he got them all in one house.
See, I got a dog at my place that will bark repeatedly until his need is met. Like, for instance, if he wants out,
Well, yeah, right. It just doesn't bark full.
but, sooner or later, he gets the point, when I go up. Now, my point, maybe the other fellow's point are two different ways of going about it.
Well, I
My
used
dog
to do that with mine.
understands when he sees me walking from the house, he'd better head for the box,
I done that with mine. The one on my head.
And, but we make sure the dogs are watered twice,
Yeah.
at least during hot weather.
They don't check them all the time. I mean,
Well, that's another thing. He feeds them at what, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and then they
Anytime.
bark and bark and bark and
What's
bark.
his work schedule? Do you
He
know?
has a
All day.
wife that's there all day long.
Okay.
the other day he was off all day and hell, they run the road.
Yeah, and then he goes down and
Running
feeds.
one vehicle, leaving another vehicle.
Okay.
Then he gets out, he gets the tractor running after dark.
Well,
Or something stupid like that.
You remember that they pled guilty to the last time,
Yeah,
but we've had a circumstance like this in Bedford Township before. So see what happens between them. My advice is we've got the ordinance, these same sets of dogs are gonna keep taking up township time, then we're gonna have to address it, and probably we'll have
if you
to-
can make it out about Thursday morning when the Bergmeyer truck pulls in down there, then you really get to hear songs.
Well, the issue will not be, Roger, the issue is not keeping to file these monetary claims against them. The issue really is to get an order, okay, to make the dogs leave. That's what it comes down to. That's what we had to do in Bedford
I
Township.
hope he doesn't drag a couple more in.
Well, that's essentially part of what the order would be, is that there'll be no further.
Cease.
Right. Because you can't have the citizens.
Yeah, there's other things we could be
That's
doing
right.
more productive.
That's
Well,
right.
the lady about the last 2 weeks, got a cow down there bawling, and I seen him one day, he has a building down there, had his head stuck out, it's a small building. And,
Crying all day.
yeah, I don't know if it's, my guess it needed food and water.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hot out that day too.
I'm no cow aficionado.
Why
A herdsman.
But usually for the animals
But-
fed and water,
There's
they're not
usually
gonna-
some reason why they would bark or bawl or
Yeah.
what have you.
Typically, what you have to do from a township standpoint is, after you get a conviction and you still have repeated problems, then you have to go to the court and seek an order to have the.
I did ask him here about a week and a half ago, I was there in the garden. The
Yeah.
dogs started barking,
Yeah.
and two down the lane in the fence. I said, hey, I wasn't teasing him. He said, you wasn't this time. He said, you did other times.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I heard you're moving. He said, no, you're actually moving. I said, no, I'm not moving. I said, you let me know you're moving out. I want to have a party. We had a few mouth power. It's kind of hard to deal with somebody like that all the
Yeah,
time.
I can understand that.
Hey, can we do anything about cleaning that place up? He has 3 mattresses laying out in the front yard all winter long, and they're still laying
We've
there.
only been there for about 9 months.
9 months.
Mhm. through my
And they
last
also
fall.
have rats, because we seen the rats running across the road.
Well, they got them at Landman's too. Yeah,
Yeah, rat caught him down there a couple of years ago. He went and bought a BB gun to shoot rats because he wasn't allowed to have a gun because he's
Child
registered
molester.
child molester.
Yeah.
So he wasn't allowed to have a gun, and now he's staying at his mom's house, where his guns are, which legally he shouldn't be there, but he's
Right.
there.
Right.
And then has dogs in the trailer.
Yeah, there's a dog in the trailer. Never lets out.
This isn't the only township where I hear it now. Just about most every township, we have a whole series of nuisance complaints. So unfortunately, you're in the mix of people. It just get, 40 years ago, people addressed issues differently than they do today.
Well, that's
So
just a
that's
pig
why-
pen down there.
That's why the ordinance has to be enforced. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
You take a look down there, you can see why there's,
Yeah.
There
it is down there.
There is no easy answer other than forcing them to
Exactly,
comply.
there's a thing of having stuff sitting around, but that's
Right.
He just drags stuff up and puts it right out front.
junk and garbage.
Yeah, and then he has one little path mowed.
He mowed last night,
In the
last
yard.
evening a little bit. He mowed like
Okay.
3 swipes around there tomorrow.
We're gonna move on. Gail Strayer?
I'm with him.
Okay.
You heard her beat.
Hey Brad, you got anything good for us on a positive note?
I want to, I don't know that you've run into this yet, but we may. PennDOT has a policy now when somebody has a development that they put in your municipality under your saldo, okay? PennDOT has taken the position that when the developer needs a highway occupancy permit, that the township should have to be the permittee and sign, be the permittee and sign for it. There is no law that I'm aware of, and I did the research, there is no law and no regulation that says that the township has to sign and be responsible for taking care of the stormwater. I've spoken with PennDOT about that. They referred me on to the Office of Chief Counsel. I also spoke to PSATS about it. PSATS agrees that there is no law that says they can do that. So if we run into it here,
Do not assume responsibility.
that's exactly right, because there's no law, black letter, that says you have to do it. And with all the rain and problems you've seen from stormwater, to take it on is a major risk
Yeah.
for the township.
No, we're not doing
All right. That's what I run into now in multiple places, so I want to make you guys aware.
that. Thank you, Brad.
Yep.
All right, moving along. I guess everybody received a copy of last month's minutes. We need a motion, if they're all correct, need a motion to accept the minutes from last month's meeting.
Oh, wait, I'll second.
Okay, how do you guys vote?
Yes.
Yes. I guess old business. Do you have any old?
It's 1/4 let's get your bid packages opened up, because it was in the mail, it was in the thing, 6 o'clock, bid packages will be open for the road
Okay,
job.
let's,
So let's get your bid packages open. Then you can go to other old business.
What are you bidding on?
seal coat Les, we're gonna,
No one informed me now, Brad. Now, this should be, there's 3 supervisors here, it's the first I know this.
What do you mean, nobody informed?
No one told me there was a bid going out.
it was in the newspapers.
Well, I know, but I'm a supervisor.
Yeah.
I have every bit of right to know what's going on here.
When was the ad put in?
Hold on, Brad.
What are you doing? Where is it gonna be done at?
It was
What
put in the
road?
paper
Pick-
on the
Picnic and
13th of
Ridge.
June.
13th of June? What about,
George Spinelli was here. The 10th of June was when I faxed it to Gazette. So
okay,
he would have been here
okay,
2 or 3 days after the meeting,
All right,
which would have been the meeting was what, the 2nd of June last month? I think it's,
Yeah.
so he's been here Wednesday or Thursday of that week, Friday of that week, something
was
like
there
that.
any discussion at last month's meeting about
No.
the motion?
No.
No motion made on
No
the issue?
motion
Well,
made, nothing.
the way it's supposed to work is, before you put out things for bid, you have to make a motion to
You
go
have
forward
to
for
talk
a bid.
about it.
Yeah, now that's the way it works on the second class township code. So, you
So
know,
I want this,
Do we,
I think you're gonna have to reject bids and rebid it.
Okay, I mean, I just
Yeah.
was doing
Oh,
what
I
I was.
understand that, but
Okay.
that's the way.
now there's 3 supervisors here. I don't get informed about nothing. What's gonna go on, what work we're doing, anything.
Well, issues in terms of bids, the
Just
way.
being honest.
Well, I understand that part of it, but in terms of the second class township code, if you're gonna go forward with bids, there should be a motion made on the table in the public meeting to address it. So, that's what the law says. And that's the procedure that should in fact be followed. Now, yes, it was advertised, so it's not a sunshine issue, but in terms of having 3 members as a board, everybody has an ability to vote at the meeting, okay?
Right.
So that's the procedure that's supposed to be followed. If it was an emergency, it would be different, but otherwise, you should be discussing it at a meeting and then voting upon whether you go forward with the bid at the meeting, okay?
okay, then do we want to table it till our next month's meeting?
Yes.
Discuss it at this meeting? What do you recommend?
You can't not now vote that we go forward with
No.
the seal. You're gonna have to.
Another date.
You're gonna have to.
Another date.
Have another meeting and address it and decide whether you will or won't go forward with the advertising for bids. And then if the proper motion is made and seconded at the meeting, then you can re-advertise it.
We was prepared to table and not open those bids tonight because there was a problem last year. The process in which and the job they done was shoddy on one road. We took it to the boss, the owner of the company. We had a talk with them, showed them their problems. It wasn't done correctly last year. What the people paid for and what they got was a little bit out of line. So in the long run, they come across, they're gonna redo that whole road again at no cost to Kimmel Township. Because they agreed that they didn't do an adequate job. Was left go last year. They will do the road again at no cost to the taxpayers of Kimmel Township.
Meaning Cottles.
Yes, they did the work last year.
Okay.
The Feathers Road was not done properly.
Okay.
They agreed to that.
So there's really not an issue of bidding because Cottles has agreed that they didn't adhere to the contract,
That's
so they're
right.
gonna give you what you were entitled to under the contract.
Yes,
Is that
yes,
correct?
yes.
All right, well, there's no reason to do a bid, in as much as they say right here in the letter that they will
They
replace
signed
that
it. We requested that in writing
at no cost to the township. That's what it
because
says.
they already paid one time but wasn't, wasn't addressed.
Well, Mike Cottle signed it, and so
Yeah.
did Mark Swope. So I would hold on to the letter, because that's their guarantee that they're
Yeah,
gonna take
they're
care
gonna
of the
redo
problem.
that road.
All right, well, at least in good faith, they addressed it. Hold on to that for the township record.
I'm gonna put that in the road job folder, that way it's here for this year.
Oh, Brad.
I know where it's at.
Can we agree on getting the bids and then since we already have them, can we open them?
Not
No,
this
this is
meeting.
illegal.
You can't,
Another week or two?
you cannot now make a motion to
Got
go
the-
forward with a bid that was after, before the fact. You're gonna have to decide whether or not you have to bid something and then go back out to re-advertise it. That's what's required.
Rebid it?
Yeah. Yeah, you have to rebid it.
Right.
Okay.
Don't, all 3 supervisors have to know what's going on.
Lester, yes.
Okay, and then it's illegal. I mean, we'll have to start over.
I just said that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we took care of what was left go last year, Les. We took care of that.
What was that?
That job wasn't done
Well,
properly.
Bob's a roadmaster, you tell
Was
him.
you here last year?
Yeah, I was here,
Okay.
but I
Money
know,
done that
I
job.
know, but right there's the roadmaster.
Okay.
Okay,
He's the guy that's in charge.
okay.
So there's other roads that are needing done now, or this is
Yeah.
the one?
Correct.
Correct.
So you need a motion to do it and bid it?
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what's necessary.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a formality, but that's.
I understand, but
Yeah.
they're not waiting till next month to do it, I guess.
Well,
I
yeah.
can put a motion on the floor
That's-
tonight.
You can put a full
Yes.
motion on the floor tonight,
I'll make
yes.
a motion
But
that
we cannot open these bids
No,
and accept
no,
the bids.
that's fine. I'm gonna make a motion at this point in time that we do ask for bids to go out to tar and chip, Picnic Road and the Ridge Road. Seal coat.
What are you installing, the whole road, clean?
Yes.
The whole way over?
The whole way, Les. From State Road over
If you're
to
to do any
Greenfield.
jobs like this, I'm an elected official. I'd
Okay.
appreciate it if you'd let me know. Don't
Okay.
let me set out on the limb, because I'm gonna buck you guys. You might as well know it.
Well, last.
What's right's right.
I sort of told you that you knew we was gonna do some more roads.
Yeah, Bob, but we didn't even talk about
You didn't
it.
even know about it.
Pardon?
It isn't that you didn't even know.
I didn't know you was doing a picnic road up here. No.
No, but you knew we was gonna do more roads.
Well, you didn't tell me. You didn't say
Okay,
where.
I don't wanna argue about it.
I don't want to argue
Yeah.
either, Bob.
Okay, like I said.
But you
the
gotta
motion-
talk about
The
it.
motion's on the floor to ask for bids to seal coat Picnic Road and the Ridge Road.
No, you're not.
I have the motion on the floor.
Now, I got a question. You're
Okay.
not gonna go and tar and chip any of them cracks?
No, we're gonna
Okay.
do the whole road.
Okay, well, we did this out here last year and then tar and chipped it.
Yeah, we're not doing that, we're seal coating.
Did one of
Huh?
those. Go.
I don't know. Well, we need a second.
I'll second the motion.
How do you vote?
Yes.
Yes,
No,
okay.
I don't tar and chip, because it's a waste of money for the taxpayers.
No, it's
Simple
not.
reason, you get 10, 15 years out of blacktop. You'll get
You're not gonna
6, 7
get,
years out
you
of
won't get out of an
blacktop.
inch of blacktop, that's a joke. If you
Get out of the
can't
backside of the
afford
picnic road, so let's
If you
move
can't,
on.
we're done with that. So do we re-advertise these
You have to
now?
re-advertise.
Okay,
Okay.
Do the bidders
All right.
on this, do the bidders need to be notified?
yes, we'll have
Yes,
to
they will.
We'll
contact
have to call
them.
the bidders and tell them that
Yep. Tell them
bid
they're new
packages
bid.
were not opened, they were,
Neil and Boyd.
yep.
All on board.
Lost in the mail.
No, I
No.
can't tell them all.
No.
You can't tell them lost in the mail.
They're telling they were considered
Neil and Boyd.
Because when I come home, I had a paper in my mailbox that a bid package needed signed for. So I did some calling, but it was already delivered, so I didn't want to miss a bid package for tonight, you know, when I was on vacation.
Yeah, that's the proper way.
Okay.
Okay, so now next, whatever, anybody else, old business, I don't know if there's anything on here, let me see. No, this is all new. Brad, I'm gonna give you this because it's about Atlantic Broadband. I don't know what's going on in that situation there.
Kathy, what's the gentleman's name in Bedford takes care of FEMA as far as flood damage, whatnot for
Dave
township?
Cubison, right?
Yeah, Cubison.
Yeah.
He's a-
Cubison.
Check Dave Cubison.
Did we receive any information? There was nothing came here. They was supposed to have sent all townships a packet or a paper in which to submit if you had flood damage.
I didn't get anything, no.
Okay.
I'll check the email to make sure it's not on there,
So then.
but I will let you know if it's on there,
Call him
okay?
ASP and try to get our paperwork.
Okay.
This letter just indicates that there are rate changes for
Okay,
use of-
so it's nothing to do with,
No, I mean, it's just increase in TV use, you know. It's
Normal.
like every other thing in life.
okay, well, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't.
Yeah, no, they're giving you notice of the
Okay.
costs.
I don't know who needs to fill that out, somebody, because they got a survey for the Ford truck that was worked on. So that's Steve or Bobby needs to complete that survey. And this, I'm gonna let Brad look at it, it's from Bedford County Planning Commission. And the man was supposed to be here from H.A. Thompson tonight. So far, I
No.
haven't seen him.
I think he had called and canceled. There was something, his daughter
Okay,
was in a softball tournament out of town.
then
He
that'll be
wasn't gonna
next
be
month,
able-
then he'll probably be here then.
He wasn't able to make this meeting.
Okay, because I know he set it up for this meeting.
This is just telling you that they've applied for some money to assist with updating the national natural heritage inventory. You know, things, I thought it was mostly with bridges and things of that nature, but, I think in part that's the case. But there's a variety of things that they look at
Okay.
for projects.
So I'll just put that in paper. Okay, a check came from Act 13, which is your gas thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, an email came that they're asking you guys to do an amendment or something to the budget where this money's gonna be used. It needs to show in the budget where it's gonna be used.
How much is it?
$317.49. You can either make an amendment to the budget or state it in the minutes that you're gonna take care of it in next year's budget and allot it somewhere.
That's an awful more established jail. That's where it's from.
It's from that statewide
Yeah, it's from that,
allocation.
but you have to, because you have to allot in your budget where it's gonna be used at, because if
Okay.
not, you'll get a phone call wanting to know where that money went to and what you
Okay.
used it for.
Brad, I had a question asked a couple weeks ago. Guy asked me, he said about liquid fuels money that comes back to the municipality or back to the township. At one point in time, did all townships have to show and use that money that was returned back on future equipment needs only?
I don't know the answer to that. Typically, liquid fuels is used for roads, a variety of things that relate to the roads themselves. Now,
You can use 20% of it for equipment.
yeah, okay, there's a portion
You
that
can use 20% of it
Because
for
they
equipment.
thought at one time it was like all of it, 100% of it had to go into equipment, upgrading your equipment fleet or something.
No, it's, all I've ever
No.
done is 20%.
And there's a provision under the law also that says in the event of an emergency, you may be able to use certain amounts of liquid fuel monies
Yeah.
to get something that you need to protect the public interest. Like, you know, what if your truck's all broke down and you had to get a truck in an emergency? We had
Yeah.
to come up one time. But otherwise, to use it, there are certain things that,
Criteria.
yes, you have to meet.
Okay, any other, you didn't have anything else, Callie?
You guys need to tell me where you want this Act 13 money to be used. Or are we just gonna make a thing in the minutes that it'll be used in next year's budget allotment for a certain whatever? But there has to be something stated where this money's going to.
What are the restrictions on its use?
Well, that's,
It can be used, they just want to know where you're using it.
Where it'll be used at?
Where it's gonna be used. They don't want you just to put it in a checking account and say, it's there, you know.
Yeah,
It has to be allotted somewhere.
let's use it on our seal coat project.
well, make that in the form of a motion on the floor. So
I'll
it
make
can
that
be-
motion. The amounts to about a load of Anniskin, not even that, but. Let's just put it in with our.
Towards our seal coat operation for this season.
I have a motion made, Bob, to use the part on the bid package for the seal coat job.
Okay, you said what, a little over $300?
$317.49 it is. I need a second.
I'll second it. How do you guys vote?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that'll be put in on road job. Okay. And I think this is just an informing letter. But it's a bridge being done over on Boiling Springs Road about they're closing a road or something, and I think it's just an information thing for us. And it's in Greenfield Township. It's just letting us know the road's gonna be closed.
Are they rerouting any traffic into Kimmel or?
I don't know what's going on. They're rerouting traffic, but I'm not sure where. It says about the road's gonna be closed.
Usually they won't divert traffic over onto a third priority or township usually.
Where's that road at, Boiling Spring Road?
Is that over?
They're below
They're the doctors.
they're at the doctor, where you go up into Dr. Bulger's.
Bulger's
Yeah,
place?
right there at the county line, close to it.
Just
Yeah.
on this side?
Just in Greenfield.
I knew, I
side.
seen that sign someplace, it was over there, but I wasn't sure
Yeah.
exactly.
According to the letter, the meeting's open to the public to display its plans August 4th at 5:30 to 6:30 at the Greenfield Township Building. Generally, PennDOT's required to give notice of all this stuff, so.
They have to put on
Yeah.
a presentation.
Yeah.
People ask questions, maps,
Yeah. Who it may impact surrounding
aquatic life,
aquatic life.
if it
bats.
may be.
Okay, so that'll just go here. Brad, did you look at that Allison paperwork that I
did
dropped
not.
off?
I did not.
Your secretary had it. You was
Oh,
on-
I know she
was
did.
busy that day and she had it.
That
So
I
was
you-
know we
addressed-
have it.
Yeah, there's
That
a
was
couple
addressed
things.
in our minutes from
Yeah, that
last
was
month.
supposed to be approved once you looked at it.
As
because
per
it
your
was-
approval.
But there was a couple things on it that I wasn't sure.
Okay.
So you need to look at
Yeah,
that. They've already
yeah.
made a motion to approve it upon your
All
approval.
right, yep, I'm sorry, I did not look at it. I have
Okay.
to double note it here.
Okay,
I'll look at it right away and get it out.
okay.
I know she has it because you dropped it off.
Okay, the William Walter subdivision. That might need, there's what came back with it, Brad. This just came in the mail. I had it when I came back from Florida. That's why I didn't bring it up into you.
Have you submitted the plan on for Keller Engineers to look at?
Keller said that everything was okay, yes.
Did they conclude that it was a major,
Just a minor.
just a minor,
Yep.
because there were lots of predated years?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Because they didn't send me, the man called me on the phone, and he said, I looked at it, he said, I'm only counting 1 or 2 new plots, he said, and it's not
Okay,
a major, he said, no.
that would be my main issue. These are
Yeah.
good points that they've raised.
Okay, no, Keller already told me that.
All right.
Because I sent that to them before I sent it to, before I sent it on to planning commission.
Spread out everywhere, don't you?
Right. Are we supposed to go with this? Let's see. How would we know if we wasn't there?
Yeah, good question. I mean, it would have to, we'd have to ask them to show it on the plan, otherwise we wouldn't know. You wouldn't know whether there was a bridge or not a bridge. That's not typically something that you see per se, you understand what I mean? Not on a plan, very rarely do you see that type of thing, unless it's a big bridge.
I think it could be enough chairs to fill this place up.
Topo would pick it up, but
Let's see if I
You'd
can-
have to get down and look at it and see if it's there. Well, why wouldn't they go investigate it?
Well,
They don't want
typically,
to.
well, what it says is the conservation district should be contacted for information on permitting. I think probably what you ought to do is contact them and see whether or not these people ever received a permit for a pipe or a culvert and have them go and check it, because really that's within their jurisdiction. Yes, it may fall under your subdivision land development ordinance as a checklist item, but the person that will administer it is going to be the conservation district. So what I'd recommend, Bob, is get in touch with Mike Felix and have him go out and check and then report to you all. You can go out and see and ask the question, but they're the ones who are going to have to answer whether it's done properly or that kind of thing.
Go ahead, we'll go. Do we need to make a motion or wait till this is taken care of yet?
Probably make a motion to contact Mike Felix.
Felix?
Yeah, he's with the Conservation District in Bedford.
Okay.
do you need a second on that motion?
Who made the first?
Bob?
That got your tongue?
I got you. I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second. How do you guys vote?
Yeah.
Yes.
Will you stipulate that upon Felix's approval of said crossing, pipe, structure, whatever it is, then to move forward,
Pending my.
pending your approval?
Your
Yeah,
approval.
my final review, yeah.
With Mike Felix checking out for the stream paper, whatever is done with the stream, okay?
Yes.
And then upon your approval, the guys can sign paperwork.
Yeah, upon me reviewing it.
When Brad's satisfied.
Okay. Mike Felix, then Brad, and then you guys can sign off. All right. All right, that's all I have.
That's everything as far as old business.
Basically, yeah, because these permits were old.
Okay.
And Brad needs to, you guys already made a motion to approve the Allison one upon your.
Subject to my review.
Yes,
Um,
so that's done,
We're gonna need an executive session for pending litigation.
okay?
Won't take that long,
Well,
but
unless you guys have anything or new, or you're gonna come back into a meeting,
Or
I don't
you
care.
want to address new business after?
well, you can address your new business now.
Okay. Under new business, anything you guys want to bring up, Les? Bobby?
The only thing, Kathy, on that new truck, did we get a,
Insurance card?
I got the insurance card, but I didn't get the, I don't have the
There's
registration.
no registration in that
And
truck.
I feel sure they took it out.
I was gonna say, if it would've been here, it would've been in there.
Yeah.
I feel sure they took it out when they had the
Did
truck
the
down
warranty
there.
work?
Yeah, they
Fill out all
pulled
that
the
paperwork.
registration to pull the paper, do the paperwork.
And Lewis says they can't find it.
So now what do we do?
Well,
So
we gotta go down to,
You got to go through DOT
Down.
and get a duplicate,
down to Buffy and
replacement.
get a replacement. So you have to
You can actually
Take
do it
the-
You
online.
can do it online too. I just
Yeah.
did mine. Takes about
They
10
wouldn't
wanna
take
do
a
it
fee from
online?
it.
You can do it online.
Okay.
Yeah, we have them, so we gotta get it ASP.
You
Do
like
we-
last week?
The flooding we had with the last event of Walter Hall here, we're gonna probably be in some new business there. It's probably gonna require some rocking if we can't get any money from FEMA, some help that way. I talked to a buddy of mine over in Riddlesburg. He said that there was a form went around to all the townships whether you
It's
had,
possibly
you
on the
had some
email.
flood damage,
Okay.
to fill it out. They were gonna try to go in as a group. If there was any money or aid come into Bedford County, then if you was a participant, you possibly could get some help.
portion of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll call Dave
so we need
tomorrow.
to know how to fill that out, you know. We should get on board. Spinelli come out and took a look at this creek up here. We get another flood event like we had, we're gonna lose section of roadway. It needs rock, you need R6, R7 rock, and that means probably bringing in a rental piece of equipment that's capable of moving, because right now you could probably bury two small cars, one on top of the other one. It's that deep. It's a mess. There's a place on upstream where a gentleman's filling the stream to gain access in and out of his property. In the next hard storm, that's gonna be down here, which shouldn't be going on. If he wants to forge a stream, he needs to apply, I guess, is there a permit he needs to ask
When
for?
Felix comes up, send him there.
Yeah,
Because he has to apply to get into the stream.
yeah,
I've had to go through Felix to get all my permitting, along with DEP and Fish Commission, so.
Yeah.
that's what we'll do. Because it's not right, he's gonna generate a problem, the next hard storm, it's gonna be a mess again.
Exactly.
So there's two issues, maybe when that Felix comes in, we'll have him look at that as well. We took pictures of the devastation, so that may help us.
So there's been a lot of it, and so that's one of the reasons why I don't advise townships to sign off on this HOP stormwater issue, you know, because you guys see.
We haven't yet, is that
Well,
correct?
Yeah, you haven't. No.
Okay.
No, you haven't had one where they applied for one and PennDOT's, you know, pushed the issue.
Okay.
But I do have a call in, or will be calling the gentleman in Harrisburg, or not Harrisburg, I think it's in Pittsburgh, who's at the office of chief counsel, but I'm confident there is no law that supports what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's a policy that has been handed down, but I don't think it has any legal teeth.
Brad, as our representative for legal matters, do we need to keep anything on hand to that effect? If they would come to us and say, no, we're not capable of signing off on that at this point in time.
I think that the biggest issue right now is getting PSATs to continue to lobby PennDOT, because, you know, PennDOT's saying, well, sooner or later it'll be the law. Well, that's just almost like saying, well, sooner or later it's going to be legal to hang somebody again. You know what I'm saying?
Wait and see.
Right. I mean, if there is law, all we ask is them
Chuck does.
to show it. But we've asked this before, and we've not seen any law.
Yeah.
So it's the developer's responsibility at this point?
Yes, under the law, the
To obtain
developer.
the highway access permit
That's right.
and maintain it?
That's right. And what PennDOT's attempting to do is force the township to be a co-permittee, so that if there's a problem down the way, we have to impart help.
Township can be
Yes,
responsible.
right.
Yeah.
And it's not us that's asking for the development, it's the developer. And it's not our road, it's PennDOT's road.
Unless you take the road over
That's
as a
right.
township.
Yeah.
Right, and
Then you
that,
assume
Might have turned
responsibility.
that's right. I mean, it'd be different if it was a
Right.
township road, you know, then they, you know, most townships don't have an HOP, you understand? Especially in these rural townships. But more and more you're seeing a resource issue being pushed onto the municipalities, and the townships cannot absorb it because their liquid fuel allocation is less and less and less. That's the problem. I've explained that to them. It goes on deaf ears in many respects.
Harrisburg doesn't have the money either.
Well, they'll take advantage of it if you're dumb enough to sign on it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right.
Take the responsibility, that's,
Yeah.
There's too many cases like that where people didn't know what they were agreeing to and did and got other people in a mess down the road.
All right, I'm
All
gonna
right.
motion, we go into executive session.
I'll second that motion. How do you guys vote?
Yes.
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 It's been fun.
Okay.